This is the Conservative American Message, hosted by the one and only Cam Lau. It's Saturday, November 19th, 2022, and thanks for tuning in for another week of the best politics podcast on Spotify. With the midterms mostly in the rearview mirror, talk has already begun about 2024 and what it will bring. Biden is likely to run so long as this Weekend at Bernie's Act is still going on, and Ron DeSantis throwing his hat in the ring has been speculated. But Tuesday, we saw things really kick off.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. Together, we will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble. This is not a task for a politician or a conventional candidate. This is a task for a great movement that embodies the courage, confidence, and the spirit of the American people. This is a movement. This is not for any one individual. This is a job for tens of millions of proud people working together from all across the land and from all walks of life, young and old, black and white, Hispanic and Asian, many of whom we have brought together for the very, very first time. This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together.
Now, I'm not sure if when you heard that you cheered or cringed. The Republican Party is in a strange place right now, and there's lots of inter-party division. But I have to make the case for Trump. First of all, Trump already made the announcement, so any serious Republican challenge in the primary is only going to hurt the eventual nominee. We also know that Trump has the balls to get things done. You cannot possibly compare what a governor accomplishes in their state and the accomplishments of a president. Most modern presidents accomplish virtually nothing significant. Trump, however, did a lot for this country. But what it really comes down to is that Trump is as far from the establishment as it gets, and with a majority of elected Republicans offering no alternative agenda, Trump is exactly the visionary needed to restore this nation. Trump is more than a man. He's created a movement that goes even beyond the GOP. Obviously, he's not perfect, but neither is any challenger you can offer. Remember, they only hate him because they can't control him. The ramifications of alienating the Trumpers could destroy the Republican Party altogether. To vote for any other Republican is merely a vote against Democrats. It will only slow the liberal agenda, not reverse it. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. This week we received more results from the midterm elections. Kari Lake lost the governor's race in Arizona to Katie Hobbs. Did we mention that Katie Hobbs is the Arizona Secretary of State and is in charge of the elections? We had covered all the other sketchy stuff going on in that race last week, but across the nation we saw states that took days and days to count up all these votes. Adam Laxalt lost the Senate race in Nevada after a bunch of live stream cameras monitoring vote counters went black for hours. I'll say it again, if you want people to believe in the elections, make them believable. There were 12 Senate Republicans who joined the Democrats to pass legislation to codify the rights to gay marriage. 10 years ago, you probably would have had a greater number of the exact same Democratic senators opposing such a bill. Now, I don't believe the government should have any say in who you love, but this bill is redundant and just another step in the wrong direction. It will be a slippery slope that could lead to religious liberty being threatened. Marriage is a religious act, and we shouldn't allow the state to define religious terms. We fell off this slope pretty quickly when the Supreme Court allowed gay marriage in 2015. Now we see people identifying as all sorts of nonsense, polygamous relationships being normalized, and pedophiles being celebrated. That may not be entirely mainstream yet, but it will come. Every inch we give to the LGBTXYZ 75 apostrophe, or as I call them, the sexual mafia, they'll take a mile. If you choose to be gay, that's fine, but it's nobody's business but yours. Keep your sexual perversions out of our schools, churches, businesses, and society. The choice to pursue that lifestyle is yours, and it needn't be celebrated any more than straight people should be. I can hear it now. But people are born gay, it's not a choice. The problem with that is that babies are not born with any sexual desires whatsoever. Nobody is born gay or straight. There's a big story in crypto this week, so let me give you some background. Sam Bankman-Fried founded the cryptocurrency exchange FTX in 2019 along with its own token FTT. He took the company to a $32 billion valuation after only 3 years. Earlier this month, there were reports of a troubling balance sheet for one of FTX's sister companies, Alameda Research. Following the report, rival exchange Binance began dumping all of their FTT, decimating the token's value. Binance then attempted to purchase FTX, but then pulled out of the deal, leaving FTX with no choice but to file for bankruptcy. Now they're under criminal investigation. It appears that Sam Bankman-Fried and his colleagues were basically stealing money from unassuming investors, and they even used some of it to donate $40 million to various Democrats in the recent election. As if the Democrats haven't stolen enough money from the American people. This is why I stay away from crypto. It's just too sketchy. Speaking of sketchy ways to make an extra buck, here's a good one for you. An 8th grade teacher in Arizona has resigned due to pressure after school administration discovered her OnlyFans. Her teacher husband, who had an at-will employment contract, was then fired after the scandal had gone public. Samantha Peer, or Chloe Carter on OnlyFans, now claims that she is being harassed in her community and that she had no choice but to pimp herself out on the internet due to low teacher salaries. What a joke. If you post nude photos and videos of yourself on the internet, don't try and turn it into some agenda. I mean, come on. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm sick of the entitlement. The average teacher's salary in Arizona is over $38,000 a year. If you figure $38,000 over 9 months at 40 hours per week, that's $25 an hour. Now, I know that teachers have a hard job and that they do work more than 40 hours a week, but you know what? So do a lot of us, and we don't get our summers off. I don't hate teachers. I'm simply stating math and facts. I really do appreciate most teachers and everything that they do. It's not an easy job. But don't pretend like your job is so much worse than everyone else's. You chose your career. Don't blame society. Life is all about choices. And please do not resort to internet prostitution to supplement your income. There are plenty of summer jobs out there. Thanks for joining us for another week, and if you haven't been offended yet, no worries, we'll get to you eventually. Just keep tuning in, and don't forget to follow our Instagram at The Conservative American Message. Have a great week and stay conservative.